it's Yumi, and welcome to my little corner of the world where I talk about anime and things I love. Anyway, now we are going to continue our discussions about the MBTI personalities of the Strawhat pirates. And previously, we already discussed about Luffy and Zoro, and now I want to talk about Nami and Sanji.
バカチンこれじゃ動けないでしょ
ナミさんの愛の表現ってダイナミック。
These two characters are very interesting because I think there's a lot of hidden depths within their characters. The what we obviously see on the surface, but also what is underneath. And anyway, I already talked in more details about what MBTI is in my previous video, so do check it out. It's basically like a personality test where we assign people based on 4 aspects on how they interact with the world, how they see, how they perceive information, and how they make decisions. Now, let's go with Nami first. I think Nami is definitely an extrovert. Maybe not to the point as Luffy, like Luffy engages the whole world and the whole environment, but Nami, I think, is more extrovert than introvert. She is also observant. She is very logical, and you have to be observant to be a navigator. Okay, you need to see the weather. You need to make decisions based on the routes. There's no way Nami is not an observant or an S. And the next aspect, I think she is more feeling F compared to T. I think she engages more and make decisions more on her feelings. Like, she is a very empathetic character compared to her logic. And that is not to say Nami cannot make logical decisions like the routes or like what to do with the ship when there's like a storm coming and things like that. But essentially, in big decision making, Nami is a very feeling, emotional type of person. And lastly, she is judging. She's a J. Nami is a J. She can make long plans into the future and actually follow it through. She's not really spontaneous, and that's how I characterize Nami as ESFJ. Extrovert, observant, feeling, and judging. And if you look at the 16 personalities, ESFJ is categorized as console. They call it the console. Console is described as the backdrop of the communities opening their hearts and their hearts to friends and loved ones, and they are also very generous and reliable. And when you hear this, you first will go, generous, you say. But Nami loves money. Why is she generous? It may not be accurate, but no. Let me remind you on the reason why Nami loves money. She initially need to gather so much money in order to buy back her village from Arlong.
と契約したのあいつからここやし村を買うって村を買う1億ベリーでね
That is how she taken up to like stealing from people, gathering up treasures and tricking people. But all of those actions is not really for her personal gain. She does it in order to free up her village from Arlong's oppression. And that is how we see how Nami at heart is a very generous, loving person. And another thing of Consol is that they are very altruist, similarly to generous. Altruist in the sense that they take responsibilities to give back for others and also to work for other people. She takes care of the village and the crew that she's with very, very well. And she's able to swallow up her own hatred towards Arlong, towards her own emotions, and just bury it deep work for like 8 years. That is a long time to work to someone you hate. But she's able to do it because she has such a strong reason. And this altruism in her is really her motivation to do what she does. And also, Nami as a consul, has a very strong compass of what's wrong and right according to her. She has definite views of like who she should support, who she should love, and she really takes care of those. She becomes the burgle cat, but she's doing it for the right reasons. So the government may not agree with that, but in her mind, this very idealistic altruism is the essence of Nami's character. And I think the greatest challenge of Nami, according to Consol, is that their life's greatest challenge is to accept when they cannot control anyone's actions and thoughts and behaviors. We see this like she often gets frustrated towards situations. She really gets frustrated towards the crew sometimes, but she mostly gets really frustrated when there's something wrong with her plan. When she already make a plan in as a J and something went wrong, she gets really frustrated to do that. And that is the pitfall of a consult. But in any case, I think those descriptions really matches Nami as a character. So I do agree that Nami is an ESFJ. Now, what about Sanji? I think Sanji is also an extrovert. He is quite flamboyant. He interacts with other people with like loud gestures. And so Sanji is an extrovert. And then he's also observant, feeling same, but prospecting. So it's actually quite similar to Nami, but not really. Nami is ESFJ, Sanji is ESFP. The difference in the J and the P. Now, ESFP is categorized as entertainer, which is for people who are very generous with their time and energy. And basically, Sanji is the literal cook of the crew. His purpose is to really provide for the crew, like cook good food for them. And regarding the P and the J, whether he's judging or prospecting, like some friends argued with me when I talked with them about this, that he is a J because he needs to make meal plans. You know, you need to make meal plans for your food, like what you eat, especially since they don't have a grocery on the ship. That is true, I think. But I would think not in his job, but in his outlook in life, Sanji is essentially a P because his dream is like finding the all blue.
オールブルーって知ってるか？
にゃ。
なんだ知らねえのかよ。奇跡の海の話さ。その海にはよ、イーストブルー、ウエストブルー、ノースブルー、サウスブルー、この4つの海にいる全種類の魚が住んでるんだ。俺たちコックには夢のような楽園だ。
It's a very romantic abstract dream, and he doesn't really have like a structure on how he should achieve that. Because of that, I would categorize him as P. Now, this entertainer usually have like love putting up a show, and I think it's kind of true with his character. It's like half of it is almost like gag value when he overly flirts with other people, with women especially, and also like has strong aesthetic sense in the sense that he was dressed with a suit in the sea. That cannot be too comfortable, but I think the main part of it is that these entertainers are actually quite observant and sensitive to other people's emotion. Like, he may seem to be like a creep sometimes, like, but I think it's really for gag effects. But he takes care of other people's emotions, and also he is quite prone or has the tendency to sacrifice himself in order to save others. So he puts others ahead of himself.
そいつとケリをつけにな。だから仲間には手出すな。
And this self-sacrificing nature is such a deep part of Sanji that I would probably need to talk about it more in other video for another topic. But entertainers are also happy to provide emotional support for the community. Like, yes, he fights with Zoro sometimes, but he is always providing food and providing comfort for all people in the ship. And I think because of this, essentially his desire to cook, to entertain for other people, and to make other people happy is very Sanji. Like, it's a very ESFP character. It's a different way of approach to Nami. They are both trying to live for their community, but it's a very different approach, a very subtle difference that I think 16 personalities, the MBTI, managed to capture very well. So I think that's my take on Nami and Sanji, and I hope you guys would agree, well, or disagree. Feel free to comment and show me your thoughts. See you next time. Bye bye.